What is up, y'all? Welcome back out to the bench in the backyard. My name is Jordan, and this is one of my Dawn Redwoods. It's the one that I don't have in the ground. All the rest of mine are in the ground. But as you can see down here, the buds are starting to break. So I have got to get this repotted today. I don't have a choice. I've got to do it. So that is what we're going to do today. So little twin trunk. Planning on shortening this down. I do have a bud right here. I also have a bud right here. And a bud here. So I've got buds everywhere, a little bit over here. So I can either cut back to here, here, or here. So we'll see once we actually get this thing out of the pot and get all of this, get it repotted. So have to make sure that I'm not grabbing any buds. We'll get y'all down here at root level. But you can see this thing is just packed full of roots. We're gonna excavate, make sure that we protect as many of the roots as we can, but I want to cut this at least in half. And it's Dawn Redwood. They can take quite a good bit of punishment. So not too worried about harming it. I'm not going to take all of the roots, obviously. I'm not going to take all of the soil out of it, but I do want to get a good bit of the soil out. So we're going to start up here in the top. All right, so I've got 3 really big roots down there that I'm going to have to worry about. A 4th medium-sized root, but this one's quite big. So is that one. So well, this has been in the nursery container for at least 2 years, probably 3. I have not repotted it at all since I got it. So now that we have that bottom out, it should be a lot easier to untangle these upper roots. I mean, luckily these buds are just starting to break. If they had gotten much farther, I probably wouldn't be able to do this. Or I would, but the chance of it making it would go down precipitously. But as you can see, it's full of roots up here. So I should be fine. Now, I have seen videos of people treating these like deciduous when they repot. You know, going in and actually bare rooting. But I don't know if I want to do that. I really like this tree. It was only like 20 bucks, not even. I think they were 35 originally. And then I got them when they were on clearance, so they were half price. So that's what, $17 a piece. I already lost one of them. We are going to come in here and take these bigger roots back as far as we can. So I've got one right here, two right here, one here, and one here. Grab my root cutters real quick. Dawn redwoods are very fast growing, at least when they're young. I've got 7 of them in the ground over there. The tallest one's about 8 foot tall. I planted it a year and a half ago, and it was maybe 24 inches tall when it went in the ground. That one you should see, or those you'll see in the next video. I've got a bunch of bald cypresses that are going to be going in the ground this year, and a few other things. All right, so we've got that flattened out a lot more than it was. All right, now time to go find us a pot. So our best space is over here, which is good because that puts our second trunk at not quite a 45, but it is a little forward. We can probably cheat it a little bit like that. Let's see. So if that's too big, that one would have to trim a little. Actually, no, we wouldn't. We would be okay with just that pot. So about like that. So far, that's the one. Slightly bigger, but smaller than the first pot. That looks too big. That would be an okay size. Might be a little big for it. And now we get into the unconventionals. So we've got some glazed pots. Blue is the complementary color for red. So that would be fall and winter. It like bright green foliage, so it'd be fine with that as well. How does that look? I mean, it doesn't look bad. I kind of like it. And then we have the analogous color. So red should widen out that base a little bit for us. Make it look the base look a little bit wider, especially once it gets cleaned off, once we water it in a little bit and some of this soil comes off of the bark. It'll take a couple of weeks for that to happen, but that could be really nice. So we also have that as a front, which could be really nice. If we take this one back to here, Take this one to here. We can try 4 more pots. Why not? Kind of a yellow matte glaze. We've got that same blue, but in a smaller square. That's too small. I would have to take off way too many roots. So we know that's not going to work. How about this deeper red? Nope, too many roots have to come off. So I think I'm down between the blue rectangle, the unglazed rectangle, and the red square. I think I'm down between this and I still like the blue one too. So this, the blue and the red, I don't know. I think this one might be a little small. I would need to take off. You see how far forward it's planted? Which if this was the front, it would be okay. The red one's going to give us the most room. We can always, I mean, it's a very, it puts on a lot of vascular growth throughout the year. So I could keep an eye out for a new pot and just put it in the red one for this year. I think we're going to go with the red one. It's a little bit unorthodox, but I think that is the best look. And we come in with our aeration layer that's going to be 1 particle size deep. It's our normal 111 pumice, akadama, and lava rock. And it's everything above 3/8 of an inch. Then we'll come in with our regular mix. I just took the that 3/8 that I sifted out and put it right back on top of my already sifted mix, and then just resifted it. It took basically I took my 3/8 screen, put it on top of my 16th inch screen, screened out everything that's above 3/8, and then once I got my aeration layer in there, I took what was left in the 3/8 screen, put it into the 16th inch, and then just resifted that. So it got that 3/8 all connected back in. And this is actually super easy to repot, because all I have to do is stand at one corner and point that trunk basically at the other corner, come a little bit off of it, So it's not quite 45. And then we're going to come in here and work our wire in through the root ball. Just so we're not on the top of it. And then we'll just spin around, do that with the other 4 sides. So I'm going to come over here, push it just up underneath the top layer of roots, because we want those to always look pretty. And we don't want a piece of wire coming over the top of them. Make sure we get roots out of the way of the wire. These aren't tightened, but they are locked in enough that I can cut off the excess. And in here, we've got everything below 1/8 of an inch. So it's 1/16 to 1/8. Then we'll press that down into that top dressing moss. So it's half sphagnum, half green moss that's been classified. And right there. I'm gonna go water this in and then I'll be right back. So for now, I'm gonna design as if this is the front right there to y'all. First thing I know we're gonna do is this is going to be coming it's gonna at least be coming all the way down to here. Our main leader, I think we're gonna come back to here. I'm gonna take this one all the way back. I do have buds all around this node right here, which I don't really need because that's just going to give me inverse taper down here. So these are all going to come off too, because I know I don't want any branches coming from below where the trunk split. Got 5, 6 branches coming from the same spot basically. This one's actually at a no below, so we can leave it for now. Except that's not actually a branch. It's got no buds on it, so it's just the center of a leaf that hung around from last year. Same thing right here. No buds. Well, there's a little small bud right there. But when we can, that's not a branch. Cut everything off that's not a branch. That's probably the best idea. All right, so our big thing is going to be this area right here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 branches. These two are not actually at the same spot, but I do have 2 over here. Buds, that is. 1 and 2. So we're definitely keeping this one. It's on a different level of plane from these 3. I do have 2 buds that are on that same plane as this one. But we'll see what we get. I'm not seeing any buds lower down. So if we're looking at this, these 2 are on the same plane, like even coming out into the design. So if we leave this one, you're not going to be able to see this one. So I believe I'm going to take this one out. Although, as far as buds go, the closest bud to the trunk on this one is there's a little very, very small bud there, and then I have a full-size bud here. Whereas this one, I've got a full-size bud there. It's probably halfway between this bud and this bud, but I'm not sure if this bud's actually going to make it. So I think I need to keep this one for sure. We'll shorten it back to there. Most of these branches are not going to be super usable in the final design of this. I mean, obviously the trunks will be. I think these first 2 branches should be fine. Everything coming off of this branch should be okay, actually. Do I have any buds down low on that branch? No, I don't. All right, I think that's what we're going to have to do for this year. And so what I did over here, because I don't have anything close to this branch, I'm actually using a single piece of wire to come around this backside. And so this first piece of wire, I came out up underneath, came around, and now wired it out onto this branch. The next one, we're actually going to bring around onto this branch. And so now we should be able, we're going to bend in towards the center and out towards the sun. Same thing over here. In towards the center, out towards the sun. And I've got a couple of buds right here. This one's right at the inside of this crotch, or right at the inside of this bend from where I cut last year. So originally I'd cut right here, had this shoot come out. We'll get rid of that bud. It's not really going to be anything that I could use unless I was to cut this off and use that as the apex of this trunk. Which, depending on the branching that we get up here, it's fairly straight. But it's all right. I think it does have a little bit of a curve to it. I think that's all we're going to do to it. So I've got this branch and most of this trunk, everything except for this up here, which, I mean, might in the future. Once all these buds push out, I'll come in and clean up this bark. It's a little bit shaggy. But yeah, so that's where we're going to leave it. Front of it's right. So now you can actually see the whole thing. So front of it's right there. I've got this bud right here that's probably going to shoot off and become our new apex. So this should thicken up fairly well. I don't want it much taller than this, but I'm going to have to let this stuff run to thicken up this main trunk, and we'll keep pushing this back and pushing it back and pushing it back to kind of keep this one at the scale, just so that this one will be a bit bigger. So yeah, so if you liked what you saw today, go ahead, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff down below. If you didn't like what you saw, or you have a comment on what I should do or should have done with this tree, let me know down below. I don't want to pull off any buds. I got to stop doing that. Leave me a comment down below so I know what you guys think. Whether it's, hey man, that looks awesome, or why'd you cut that off right there? You should have gone to the next node up, or just let me know how I can make my trees better, how I can make my videos better, all that fun stuff. So yeah. So until the next time I see y'all out at the bench in the backyard, just remember to grow them big, but keep them small.